Right. Well, David, you can see behind me the large sukkah erected here in Safra Square in central Jerusalem. Some curious passers-by are already coming here, even though the sukkah itself will only open to the public in about 2 hours at about 11 o'clock local time. Scheduled here today, some musicians performing, and also Jerusalem Mayor Moshe Leon will be here with his wife to receive visitors, but all of it happening under the shadow of Israel's Green Pass regulations. So anyone coming here will either have to have been vaccinated, have recovered from COVID, or have a recent negative test. There are some restrictions here in place in Israel, as you know, David, over the Sukkot holiday, although, of course, many fewer than last year. Should also mention that across town at the Western Wall will be day 2 of the priestly blessing. Generally, David, in past years, on the intermediate days of Passover and Sukkot, there's been only one morning of the priestly blessing ceremony at the Western Wall. But this year, because of COVID restrictions, only 8,000 people allowed in the Western Wall Plaza in 15 capsules. That has been divided into 2 in order to enable more people to attend. So there are many people out and about in this Sukkot, as there are year in and year out, but certainly there are some restrictions. Obviously, the hope is that by Sukkot of next year, we'll be a bit more free and clear.
That's really interesting to see the nearly ancient traditions flexible during pandemic times here. But this new government under Naftali Bennett seems to be staying their course, their strategy, the robust vaccine campaign, as a way to avoid any further lockdowns.
Right. The Israeli government has put all of its money on the booster shot campaign. Of course, more than 3 million Israelis have already gotten that third shot. But in the meantime, what is bothering the government and so many in the Israeli public is the issue of the school system, which, David, as you know, is fully open. But Israel still does require all children in a class to quarantine after one of those students has tested positive, something that obviously is wreaking havoc on the school system and on the economy, given the high levels of infection here. As many as 10% of Israel's children in quarantine at any one time. So there are efforts being made inside the government to use rapid antigen tests and rapid testing every single day after someone is tested positive in order to avoid the quarantine. But until the pilot is completed, until there are enough antigen tests procured by the government, according to reports across Israeli media, it'll be the middle of October until that plan is fully rolled out. As you know, David, in the meantime, this week schools are out for the Sukkot holiday, but certainly when students come back at the middle of next week, parents would ideally, in many cases, want that rapid testing system to be in place and for quarantines to be avoided, but it seems to be at least a few weeks away.
Owen Alterman, thanks for the breakdown here.